Good morning, everyone. Yes, I still sound near, but I feel a lot better. I felt well enough yesterday. I cleaned or reorganized my son's kitchen. Yes, I had permission. After I was done, I sent him some pictures. He's on a tour right now, going different places, towards the new year, playing with their band and stuff. So I'm house sitting and dog sitting. Yes. Okay, so. And my son just moved into this house. I said, this fantastic house with this just half-acre backyard in a city. And amazingly enough, though this is the biggest backyard I've seen, uh, all the other homes here too have huge backyards. And I kind of look just to see what people are doing with it, and it doesn't seem like anybody's doing anything. No gardening. It's yeah. I mean, some of them are a little bit better cleaned up than others, but lots of junk. What can I say? What a waste. Okay, all right. Anyway, that's just how people live, I guess, these days. I don't know. You guys should have seen all my gardens that I had in every place in the city that I lived, or in cities I lived here in the U.S. And now, of course, where do I live? Yeah, okay, all right, all right. Yeah. Hmm. But I sent him some pictures afterwards on how the kitchen looks like. He kind of told me a little bit what he really would like, okay. And he's like, man, Mom, I wish I had your talent of, right? Yes. I said, well, most people actually to get mad when I do that at their homes. Oh, why? Well, I'm not a hoarder, for starters, and I don't get rid of people's things just like that, but I look at certain things and I'm going, well, there's no use keeping this or that, right? And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how people live in a constant mess. Okay, mess is one thing, right? Filth is another, right? And my children aren't filthy. They're just a little messy. Right? Well, they all work and children and right, busy all the time. Yes. So, but I said my son just moved in here, so he's still organizing, trying to where do I put everything and this and that. So I'm helping him out a little with that. And of course, I love stuff like that. Yes. Yeah. Also, I seem to, I looked at the house, one could get overwhelmed, right? Yes, yeah, that doesn't happen to me. I start always with what's one of the most important things. All right, to me, for example, it's the kitchen, it's the bathrooms. Yes, okay, that's where I start. Then, when that's all took care of, there's always extra stuff. I'm going, okay, where do I go with this now? This stuff doesn't belong in the kitchen. Then I look the next area that needs cleaning up so that then I can fit everything else very nicely there, right? Yes. So next thing is kind of their uh, outside. It's not a garage. But that's where all the paint and the wood and the tools and all that stuff goes, right? So that's next. Today, cold. I start working. I don't feel the cold anymore. Anywho, so that's what. Yes. Uh, what else was I gonna talk about? Ugh, there's so many things, but having a cold makes you. It's yeah, okay. Not quite as, yes, okay. My mind's not quite as organized as it usually is due to the cold, the fog in my head, a little bit still. It's all right. When I'm all well again, then that will get all organized again too. It's all right. All right, let's see where we are. We are in the second book of Kings in 8. Epilog to the story of the woman of Shunem. Let me think. What was that now? Was that the one with the baby? She has no name. I find that, again, are these stories, these miracles, how are they to be perceived in the physical as face value, exactly as, oh, that's all happened in the physical and these are all really miracles, or are there spiritual components, lessons to it, or where there's deeper meaning that goes with all these stories, these miracles, right? That we've kind of still have to search for the depth of it, right? Yes? All right. Well, Jesus said, or with the parables and all, and we have excerpts where he tells his disciples, I can tell you that. I will explain it to you in greater detail, in greater depth. But I can't do that to the people out there because they won't understand. So he gives people an example in the physical so that they can relate better, right? And let that sink in to start with. Start the spiritual growth. Plant that seed, right? Yes? All right, all right. Well, anyway. Okay. Epilogue to the story of the woman of Shunem. Elisha had said to the woman whose son he had raised to life, there we go, move away with your family and live where you can in some foreign country. Why did they not mention that before? Why is this like an afterthought? I have no idea. Let's find out. Maybe they'll tell us. For Yahweh has called up a famine. It is already coming on the country for 7 years. The woman hurried to do what the man of God had told her. She set out, she and her family, and for 7 years she lived in Philistine territory. When the 7 years were over, the woman returned from Philistine territory and went to the lodge, a claim with the king for her house and land. Now, I mentioned that, right? The famine only happened to the Israelites? And everybody else was fine? What kind of famine was that really? Hey. And due to the fact that all them kings in Israel, well, that's what they say, God wanted it that way. If we were constantly at war with everyone around them, couldn't go and ask for help. Well, here's this woman. Elisha sent her what? Says, go leave, because this is not going to be good here. And she does. Lived for 7 years in Philistine territory. What, nobody knew she was an Israelite and her whole family and all that? No? Oh, interesting. Don't know what to make of it. Oh, and then she comes back, goes to the king and says, I want my house and my land back. Okay. Now the king was talking to Gehazi, the servant of the man of God. Tell me, he was saying, all about the marvels which Elisha did. Gehazi was just telling the king how Elisha had raised the dead child to life, when the woman whose son Elisha had raised lodged her claim with the king for her house and land. My lord king, Gehazi said, this is the very woman, and that is her son whom Elisha raised to life. The king questioned the woman, who told him the story. The king then delegated one of the officials to her with this order: see that all her property is restored to her, and all the revenue from her land from the day she left the country until now. Oh, it doesn't make any sense. Okay. Elisha and Hazael of Damascus. She got her stuff back, so that's good. Elisha went to Damascus. Ben-Hadad, king of Aram, was ill and was told, the man of God has come all the way to us. So a thought just came to my mind about the story we just read here with why did Elisha send her away? Well, miraculously the baby survived, right? As if when you experience the miracles of God, don't let them go to waste. Yes? I don't know. That's what I just kind of got, right? And keep your family safe. Right? And if a change is necessary, then you do that. Yes? Okay. Elisha went to Damascus. Ben-Hadad, king of Aram, was ill and was told, "The man of God has come all the way to us." Then the king said to Hazael, "Take a present with you and go and meet the man of God. Consult Yahweh through him and find out if I shall recover from my illness." Now, didn't they have all them other gods in Aram? Yet here he calls him the man of God and consult Yahweh through him. God through him. This is another odd one. God just comes in handy whenever, and then they go right back to doing whatever. I don't know. So weird. See, I wanted to give credit to the people in general. Okay, it takes time to understand this and that, right? Yet it seems to me that people that not being Israelites, fighting against Israel, being attacked by Israel, somehow seem to be aware of the power of God and are seeking it. Not quite as dumb or don't understand. Just what? Not willing to commit? I'm not sure. Sounds odd, doesn't it? So Hazael went to meet Elisha, taking with him as a present the best that Damascus could offer, a load for 40 camels. What the heck's Elisha going to do with 40 camels? I had no idea. Eat them? He arrived and presenting himself said, Your son, Ben-Hadad, king of Aram, has sent me to ask you, shall I recover from my illness? Wait a minute. Your son, Ben-Hadad, king of Aram? Is that just flattery? I have no idea. Elisha replied, Go and tell him you might recover, though Yahweh has shown me that he will certainly die. Then the face of the man of God went rigid, and his look grew strangely fixed, and he wept. Why? Hazael asked, Does my Lord weep? Because I know, Elisha replied, what harm you will do to the Israelites. You will burn down their fortresses, put their picked warriors to the sword, dash their little children to pieces, disembowel their pregnant women. Oh my God. But what is your servant? Hazael said, How could this dog achieve anything so great? In a vision from Yahweh, Elisha replied, I have seen you king of Aram. Oh. Leaving Elisha, Hazael went back to his master, who asked, What did Elisha say to you? He replied, He told me that you might recover. Next day he took a blanket, soaked it in water, and spread it over his face. So died Ben-Hadad, and Hazael succeeded him. What? So Elisha tells him, well, he could recover, but he's going to die. And the reason for that is because, and then tells Hazael, and you will become king. Which part did Hazael get? He killed him, looks like. What? Gosh. Ugh. Murder and mayhem. All right. Oh my gosh. The reign of Jehoram in Judah, 848 to 841. In the 5th year of Jehoram, son of Ahab, king of Israel, Jehoram, son of Jehoshaphat, became king of Judah. He was 32 years old when he came to the throne, and he reigned for 8 years in Jerusalem. He followed the example of the kings of Israel, as the house of Ahab were doing. He had married one of Ahab's daughters, and he did what is displeasing to Yahweh. Wait a minute. Jehoram, son of Ahab. What? In the 5th year of Jehoram, son of Ahab, king of Israel. Jehoram, son of Jehoshaphat, became king of Judah. Well, is it son of Ahab now, or how can you have two fathers? That doesn't make any sense. What the heck they write down here? And then he marries, according to this, one of his sisters? Okay. Oh. Well, it could have been his half-sister, right? Ugh, all right. Ugh, I'm not even, I'm just, this just gets, all right, whatever. But Yahweh was unwilling to destroy Judah because of his servant David, and was faithful to the promise which he had made him, to leave him a lamp forever in his presence. Okay. I doubt God had anything to do with this. In his time, Edom threw off the domination of Judah and set up a king for itself. Jehoram crossed to Zaire, and with him all the chariots. Under cover of dark, he and his chariot commanders broke through the Edomites surrounding him. The people fled to their tents. What? Cover. He and his chariot broke through the Edomites surrounding him. Surrounding them? Him? Man. The people fled to their tents. Even so, Edom threw off the domination of Judah, remaining free to the present day. Oh. Libnah also revolted at that time. The rest of the history of Jehoram is his entire career. Is this not recorded in the book of the Annals of the kings of Judah? I don't know, you tell me. Then Jehoram fell asleep with his ancestors and was buried with them in the city of David. His son Ahaziah succeeded him. He was only 40, sounds like, when he died. Man, they must have not lived very healthy lives. Well, anyway. Oh, all that opulence they had. I don't know what they die of. The reign of Ahaziah in Judah, 841. Oh, that didn't last long. It doesn't say to when. I don't know. Let's see. In the 12th year of Jehoram, son of Ahab, king of Israel, Ahaziah, son of Jehoram, king of Judah, became king. Ahaziah was 22 years old. Wow, okay. When he came to the throne, and he reigned for 1 year in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Athaliah. Ooh, Athaliah? That's a pretty name. Granddaughter of Omri, king of Israel. Huh? There's another one? Omri, king of Israel. Man, this is... What? How many kings did they have at that time in Israel? Every tribe had their own king by then? I don't know. It just sounds weird. He followed the example of the house of Ahab and did what is displeasing to Yahweh. What else is new? As the house of Ahab were doing, to whom he was related by marriage. Huh? How was he related to the house of Ahab by marriage? I thought that would have been his grandfather, wouldn't it? Ahab? Man. He went with Jehoram, son of Ahab, to make war on... Okay, now is Jehoram his that? Why would they still? He went with Jehoram, son of Ahab, to make war on Hazael, king of Aram, at Ramoth in Gilead. But the Arameans wounded Jehoram. Oh, that's why he died. King Jehoram returned to Jezreel to recover from the wounds which he had received at Ramah, fighting against Hazael, king of Aram. Oh, he didn't die. Ahaziah, son of Jehoram, king of Judah, went down to Jezreel to visit Jehoram, son of Ahab, because he was ailing. Oh, wait a minute. There's two of them? What? Ahaziah, son of Jehoram. Oh, okay. You know what? That's the end of it. Did I miss something? Could be. Am I confused myself now? A little bit. Okay, well, that didn't make any sense at all. Ay. Ugh. I don't know what to say. Oh, it's back over here. I have no idea what to say to this one. It's all a bit... Seems to all be a bit of a mess, right? Yes? What? Nothing seems to actually compute, right? Yes? Okay. Well, anyway. It's gone towards the end of the year, right? So we see a lot of, again, about New Year's resolutions, and then the all the quotes and the sayings, and I don't know what, from famous people, scientists, and poets, and who knows what, big thinkers. You see them, right? People like something, and then they post it, and okay. And I came across one of it. Let's see, what was that? Search your mind here now for a moment. And can't remember. I read the whole thing through, and I'd say, no, wait a minute. That's not right. That wasn't right. It sounds good, but it wasn't right. I suggest that people read when you come across and go, oh my gosh, yeah, that so speaks to me, or this. If it's not directly from God, then read it 3 times and see if it truly computes with our original mind. Okay. Now, do I go in and say, hey, by the way, I think, sometimes depends on if there is a discussion about it or whatever, but often I just scroll past it and go, oh, I like what I like. Right? But I don't always have to let people know when I don't like something, because I'm not quite sure why they think that was such a great quote, or that was such a great thought of someone else, not their self, someone else. Okay. So I leave that. I do just scroll past it. I also heard an interesting TED Talk today, and again, it sounded so good until I realized, I listened all the way to the end, and I realized that, wow, lady, you sounded really good. You made a lot of sense, and yet, I believe none of it was right. None of it. First of all, it involved testing children. That always raises a big red flag for me. And on how to basically indoctrinate your children who aren't as, okay, smart, intelligent, or this or that, right? Or as productive, or as driven. Right? Yes, for example, studying. So she talks about on how they studied all these children and to see which ones were doing the best and the reason for that. And the reason that some children just do better than others is because they have grit. Okay. That's good when you need to put on the brakes to have some grit under your feet. That's like sandpaper. Grit. And I would listen, and then, but as she kept on going, I realized I'm being pulled into something here as a parent, or even a grandparent, into analyzing our children according to on how can I elevate the grit in a child's life that doesn't operate on grit. You understand what I'm saying? It sounded so good. And how for everyone to become a millionaire and successful. That's kind of what it sounded like at the end. And I suddenly realized, wow, how amazing people are out there when they're able to control and manipulate your mind like that against children who just operate a little different, don't have as much grit. They may have something else that other children don't have that is really amazing. And that's all going to get squashed because all the children need grit now. Okay, it's not funny. Well, anyway. So, what am I trying to say? Beware. How did that make any sense? That second book of Kings 8. Somebody want to tell me how much sense that actually, any of it made? I'm confused on what? Huh? It seems all the lines, clear lines, that God had given to the Israelites through Moses and Aaron, to begin with, have become completely blurred in every which direction. And the people surrounding Israel, for example, like Aram, the people there, the king, okay, the higher ups, they are abusing that now as well. They're not committing to Yahweh, but they want Yahweh's what? Prophetic thoughts about how if they're going to make it or not. That king didn't ask for healing. That's not what it sounded like. He just wanted to know if he was going to survive that illness, right? Yes. Weird one. All the lines are getting blurred. Interesting. And the way that we're receiving many different things now from other people, it's just as blurred. Like we can't see, wait, no, I'm not going to go with that great stuff just because some children have it and they can focus really well and again, that's kind of their, what I would have liked to know is why do these children that they consider having grit, that's the only ones they study. Oh, that's what they found. That's what they're concentrating on. Why is it? What's their upbringing? What's their surroundings? What's their way of thinking, their thought process? Why are they doing things the way they're doing things? Yes? And then every other group of if you want to categorize children, right, Why are some children what? They don't have grit? They may have grit in another direction going, rather than having their nose in a book all the time, studying all the time, right? Yes? Being good at, really great at one subject or all of them, or they may have, their grit may be in their hands with something, yes? Or their heart. Maybe they got grit in their heart, yes? Okay. No, that was not important. Ah, very sad. So I hope that, my hope for next year, as it is every year, is that we are getting closer to the goal of every child being cared for properly. Every child. All around the world. Yeah. And my repentance towards the new year, that I wasn't more successful when it came to all that. Yes? Got to keep going. Not in my own surroundings. But, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Anyway. I need to blow my nose, as you can tell. So I'm going to finish this up. All right. God's love and blessings always. May He protect you. And I will talk to y'all another time.